Okay, we're going to test out the new mount on the back of the bike. Let's go short ride around town. Not sure what that's seeing. Okay, let me get this closed here. New helmet, new camera mount, new setup on the microphone, so forgive me if I'm screaming at you, I'm not trying to. But, hello up there. Let me just get these on real quick. I don't have all my gear on because I'm just going for a quick ride. Can't go very far because I'm not wearing my riding boots, I'm wearing my cowboy boots, and they're really not the best for riding. Let's see, also reconfigured the mount for the phone. I don't think it made it in the video before, but it was having an issue with the clamp on top hitting inside. It had the mount on the back for the RAM mount, the ball socket setup. They have a ball on the back of the phone mount and a ball on the handlebar mount, and then the piece that goes between the two, and that one was attached to the phone side with the wrong set of holes, so the clamp was hitting on it when it was trying to slide through there. Just snugging that up to make sure it stays good and tight. Let's see. Ooh. Just realized I forgot to drawstring that. I doubt it'll bounce out, but it'll flap around and make me crazy. And like I said, I got a new helmet. Finally was able to get enough of them in stock in their new building that I could find one that actually fits. Really got to push with these cowboy boots to shift. Don't have that steel cap to just knock it right up into the next gear like I'm used to. And it is not a bad day out here. It's actually a little overcast and cloudy. It was drizzly earlier, but it's fairly warm. Although, even at 20 miles an hour, I can definitely feel that wind. I don't have my gaiter on. I don't have my riding pants on. Just doing a quick run around here with the new mount just to see what we see. Take a quick ride around the loop, I think. I don't know if I'll even make a video with this, maybe a short one, just to kind of throw a couple of things in there. The loop is actually the loop I was on when I totaled the Harley. If you haven't seen that video, it's on my channel. Maybe I'll link it at the end of this one. So I wonder if somebody actually bought that house. I don't know. My sister looked at that house, but it was pretty expensive and needed a lot of serious work. And so they didn't get it. Woo! Kitty's hunting something over there. This really isn't the favorite of all the towns I've ever lived in. But one thing I do love about this town is this time of year you smell fires in the fireplace, but then you get weird smells like somebody's barbecuing in their fireplace right now. I kind of doubt they're out back with their grill, but I smell somebody's grilling some meat. And I know a few people in this area that have done it on their fireplace. Sorry, I was just a little distracted with that Willis truck over there. If you call them Willies, you're wrong. Ooh, puppies. Some of you might recognize this road from when I came out this way when it was icy. I decided not to do the loop that day because there was just a lot of ice on the road down here, and up on that windy hill was not the place to be testing the traction on my tires in icy conditions. 40 back here. I'm not going 40. I'm going a little slower because, like I said, I don't have my riding boots on. Well, I say riding boots, but really what I mean is the boots I wear when I ride, because I don't have riding boots. I haven't found riding boots that I can wear. I have malformed ankle joints, so a lot of riding boots I found are just too solid for my ankles. So the boots I normally wear are heavy reinforced leather with steel, well, I'm not sure if it's steel, but they have OSHA toe caps. Not sure they come in steel or plastic these days, and I don't know off the top of my head which one those are, but they're waterproof and they're solid. They're not the same ones that I was wearing when I totaled the Harley. I still have those boots. They came through just fine, and they actually kept me from breaking my ankle when it ended up under my oil tank. So for the type of riding that I do, I'm perfectly comfortable with those. And this, I mean, it's not wild, crazy carving canyon curves and stuff back here, but you can kind of see why I didn't want to be back here when this was all covered in ice. And I'd forgotten that they logged this, so I was expecting all this to be in the shade and iced over, but down on this side it would still be. So coming around this corner here, you'll see this downhill curvy section. This was all going to be completely covered in snow and ice, and you can kind of probably hear, well, maybe not on the microphone, but there's a lot of gravel on this from when they sanded the hell out of it because of all the ice, which is almost as uncomfortable to ride on is ice, because the stuff they use for ice is really, it's not like riding on a dirt road. This stuff is like marbles. And the town was supposed to sweep all this crap up after the ice melted, but yeah, this town doesn't do much of what they're supposed to do. I don't know if that shows up on the camera, but there's like half-inch deep layers of gravel in the corners. So distracted by the gravel, I didn't even realize I've had my turn signal on the entire time. Not that there's a lot of traffic here to confuse with a signal. Well, that guy was probably trying to figure out which trees I was going to turn between to go left there. I've got to say, this HJC is amazing. I have so much air blowing through my helmet right now. I could probably be panting and not be fogging up my visor. And it's got a pin lock lens in it that actually seems to do something, unlike the built one. I haven't had a lick of fog on this, even at 20. I did get just a faint bit in there when I was sitting in the driveway and closed it. But that's to be expected. You can't get air movement when you're not moving, so God, that is a lot of gravel there too. Okay, I just wanted to get out and test them out. Like I said, not really going anywhere, just doing a loop. It comes right around, right back into town. I'm going the opposite direction as I was on that video, and I'll point out a few things from this way. See these 3 telephone poles from right here on to driveway, and then another one. That's where I actually had that accident. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of a walkthrough. This is right where I stopped, right here, where that beer can is, basically. And this second driveway, this is where she pulled out of, and this is the driveway I was at when she pulled out in front of me. So it's hard to say with the video. It's about 16 feet. And then if you look across over that way, right here's a good spot. There's my parents' house right across the field there. There's a little bit of fogging up. So yeah, you can see the yellow house right there. I mean, it would have taken me less time to walk across the field than it took my dad to drive around town to get to me. And so yeah, you could see how not plowing right into the side of her car when she came clear halfway across the road and into this side. I mean, I watched that video and thought what a crappy job I did for a long time, until I actually came back through here and realized I had less than 20 feet to go from there all the way over with a locked up rear tire, because it was still cold. I rode a total of 4 minutes before I got to that point, and the tire was still hard and cold in the morning. It was a chilly morning. And as soon as I hit that brake, it locked right up. And I can't say today on this bike if that same thing happened in that same spot that I would avoid the wreck, but I was still a really new rider, and I still hadn't done a whole lot of braking practice as far as emergency stopping, and I don't know. I may be able to swerve around somebody in that same situation if it were to happen today, but I can't say that for sure. A lot of that in the video, it really looks like I'm weaving all over the place with the handlebars, and it's the video was filmed with my old body camera that hangs on a string. So as soon as I started hitting the brakes, the thing was flopping all around. It's easier to see if you stop and go frame by frame with the raw footage. The handlebars didn't really turn much, and the bike went fairly straight at the angle that it did to go around, and I really came close to missing her as it was. If she'd been a little quicker stopping, or I'd been a little closer to the center line when I started trying to avoid her, it would have been a close call. But I learned a lot about that riding that day. And the most important thing I did was I got on the bike and rode. 3 days later, I got on the Goldwing and rode it. So if I had taken longer to think about it, I probably wouldn't be riding anymore. And I know a lot of people get in a wreck like that and then they decide they can't do it anymore. And I'm not saying that that's the right choice or the wrong choice. I'm just saying, for me, if I had waited, I would have started thinking about it too much, and I would have let fear get in the way of reason. Whoa, holy crap. Oh, Jesus, the freaking line is coming apart. I don't know if I can get that on the camera, but I'll try. I don't know if I got it with the helmet camera. I don't know where my helmet camera is even looking right now. This is kind of a test for that too. I put it on the new helmet and I've kind of lightened it up looking at where it's pointing compared to the helmet, but in reality I didn't check it with actual video. I might be like looking off to the side, or I might be looking down at the ground. I don't really know. So I will see where it's looking when I review this and do the editing. I might even cut a little bit of the helmet footage in right there just to kind of see if I'm actually kind of close. Obviously, if I'm looking off into the trees or whatever, I will, just because it'll be hilarious. But so we'll do a little zigging and a little tagging, and then we'll go around the block and come back into the house. We'll go around this way because it's interesting sometimes to just go the other way. If anybody's curious why I have a tendency to lug it in third so often, it's because this has a 6-speed and my Goldwing has a 5-speed. So the gear spread is different, and I got used to rolling gears on that bike. Because of the way that it runs at low speed, it gets kind of trying to think of the right word, surgy. If you put it in second, it does this kind of thing. So I don't know if that even came through on the audio, but I was wiggling the throttle a little. But to counter that, what I would do is if I was rolling and I was just cruising, I would leave it in third. Or if I needed to be in the lower gear, I would bring it up higher and slip the clutch some to bring it above that surgy spot. And that's one of the main reasons it's parked is because it's not really relaxing to ride in town, and I don't do a lot of freeway driving, where that one was really actually pretty comfortable on the freeway. And with the carburetors rebuilt and everything, I replaced as many of the vacuum lines as I could find and replace when I did the carburetors. Excuse me. But everybody I talk to says it sounds like it's got a vacuum leak. So I just didn't feel like tearing it all apart. Looking for a vacuum leak that might not be a vacuum leak. It might just be that the carburetors need adjustment, and I don't have the tool to get in there and adjust them the way it wants to be adjusted. I don't know. The simple reality at the end of the day is that I don't want to ride the bike enough to do the work to figure out why it's doing what it does. And that's it. So when I realized I wasn't riding because I didn't want to, because the bike wasn't what I wanted to ride, I decided to get this one. And I rode that one a couple of times after I got this one. And yeah, that was the decision that I came to, was that it's really not the bike I want to ride anymore. And the only reason I still have it is because nobody I know wants it. The camera's not on. Why is the camera not on? Well, I don't even know if it recorded any of that. This thing does some weird stuff. Okay, so it recorded for 14 minutes and 32 seconds. So I don't know how long I was gone. That may be the whole thing, or it may have shut off in the middle of it. This thing, I don't know. The more I use this camera, the less I like it, because it does weird stuff. Like, I get back home and it's got, one case it had 6 minutes missing out of between two files. Or it doesn't just, you'd think when one stopped it would go to the next one, but it doesn't do that. It just does whatever the hell it wants, it seems. So I don't know what that got. So anyway, on the helmet camera, hopefully I'm looking somewhere towards the bike, is the mount that I put on today. And that extends. You can take this off. It's a selfie stick also, but I have the other one with the tripod on it. So I don't know how often I'll be taking this one off, although this one is a lot lighter. So that might come into play also. Plus it's already on the bike, which I just thought of. I have to carry the other one separate from the cameras because the box I got that fits in here doesn't have room for the tripod thing in it. Oh, that's the stuff out of my writing bag. Okay. But that's one problem with this being right there, is that it hits, so I have to move it out of the way to get it. I'm ready for the sniffle season to be done with. Anyway, that's about it. I just got to put her away. I have the box on there just because I was putting this. I didn't want to put this thing on and then come out to ride it and find out that it was like right where the box sits. Although I had an idea how far forward it came, I figured I'd just put it on there to be sure. I don't know if I've ever put this on the video, but this box is fairly easy to remove. It's just a little snug when you slide it off of there, because these are are tied in the slots, and then it just clamps on there. I don't know how much of that you can see. Like I said, I don't know. You might be looking over here. You might be looking over. I don't know. We'll see where it's at and adjust it from there. But I'll pull the phone off here. You got to take these ones loose first, because these push this pad into the back of the phone to keep it from vibrating out and falling off. And then this slides up. And that before was hitting a screw right there, so it come down to there. It come to there, and then I had to wiggle it and fight to get it to go past that screw, and now it just slides right in. And I can't really see that from the helmet camera, but it's got 3 screws, and there's 2 different spots. And if you turn it, you can actually get 4 holes to almost line up, and they had 2 in that configuration, and one of them's right where this thing slides past. So that was what was causing the issue. Like I said, I don't even remember right now if I put that in the video or not, but that's it for today. I wish I could get these a little stiffer, but they flex. I don't know if that shows on the camera. That's actually flexing right here, not in the joint. What means you can see, you can even see that one bouncing from doing this one. It does that on the road, but it's still better to be able to see something in that vibrating mirror than to see my shoulder clearly, which is what I could see in the factory one. Of course, right after I bought these, I found online a set of brackets that screw in there and move the mirror out, so it would have been able to just keep the factory mirrors and still be able to see. But this works. This is good. I'm fine with that, and these are more likely to bend out of the way and not break if something hits it, like a branch or whatever. So they work for me. And these are the new hand grips. They're nothing special. They're just some what are they, Pro Taper. Just because the other ones I'd cut out for the hand grips or hand guards that came around, and I don't need those anymore. And without something there, it looked like garbage, so I just had washers on there with a screw, and they looked okay, but I kept catching it on my sleeves and on other stuff, so I decided to just go ahead and replace the grips. They're easy enough. So that's pretty much it. Update on that. I'm not going to go ahead with the plate unless I end up needing to. What I did get is I got a piece that goes on here and brings the fender down lower, so most of what hits that should be deflected. There was something else I got coming, but I don't remember what it was right now. So I'm sure I will remember in just a moment as soon as I wrap up the video. So I'll update that when I remember. Nope, I was just hoping. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.